Welcome, deep divers. Picture this. You're in the stadium, the noise is just deafening. It's a huge game, basically a knockout match. And then, boom, a massive upset. History made. We're not just talking about any old soccer game here.
No, not at all. This was something else.
And that's exactly what we're getting into today. We are taking a really close look at that recent FIFA Club World Cup clash between Inter Miami CF and, European giants FC Porto.
Yeah, a huge matchup.
Absolutely. And we've dug into everything, the match reports, the tactical analyses, the nitty-gritty stuff, plus all the post-game noise, the player reactions, coaches, fans, everything.
Oh, the angle's covered.
Right. And our mission for you listening in is to get way beyond just the 2-1 scoreline. We want you to really get the tactics, how they shifted, how individual moments, pure brilliance really, changed the whole thing.
And the historical weight of it, too.
Exactly. The history, the implications, and just the raw drama of it all. So by the end of this, you won't just know what happened. You'll understand why it mattered so much. You'll feel totally clued in on a really pivotal moment in global club soccer.
Definitely a moment worth digging into. And it all happened on this, this newly reimagined global stage, the FIFA Club World Cup 2025.
Ah, yes, the context. This isn't the Club World Cup we used to know, is it?
Not even close. It's completely transformed. This is the first time ever they've expanded it to 32 teams. 32. It makes it this massive, truly global tournament, unlike anything we've really seen at club level before.
32 teams. That's huge. And the money involved, that also tells a story, right?
Oh, absolutely. The total prize pot is reportedly a staggering $1 billion.
Wow. 1 billion.
Yeah. That's not just pocket change. It's FIFA basically shouting from the rooftops saying, look, this tournament is a massive deal now. Take notice. They clearly wanted to be seen as prestigious, right up there with the biggest competitions.
It's a serious statement of intent, and it's designed to pull in the best from everywhere.
Exactly. To attract and reward the top clubs from every confederation, make it genuinely world-class. And we saw the hosting model in action too. This specific game, Miami versus Porto, wasn't even in Miami, despite them being a host city.
Right. It was in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Correct. Which kind of shows how they're spreading the games around, letting different places get a taste of this big new event.
So Inter Miami making their debut in this huge revamped competition as a host team, no less. Talk about pressure.
Immense pressure. And excitement, I imagine. But yeah, stepping onto that global stage for the first time, it's big. And the situation in their group, Group A, even before this match kicked off, was already super tense.
How so? What were the standings?
Well, both Miami and Porto came into this second game with only 1 point each. Miami had drawn 0-0 with Al Ahly, the Egyptian side.
Tough opponent.
Very tough. And Porto had also drawn 0-0 against Palmeiras, the Brazilian giants.
Okay, so 1 point each after one game. That really ramps things up for this second match, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The math was simple. A win was, well, almost essential for whoever wanted a realistic shot at getting out of the group. A loss would be devastating.
Which is why everyone was calling it a virtual knockout game.
Pretty much, yeah. It felt like that. Lose this one, and you're facing a mountain to climb, probably an early exit. Win it, and you're suddenly in a really strong position to advance. High stakes doesn't even cover it.
And the opponent Miami faced adds another layer. FC Porto. I mean, they're not just any team.
No way. We're talking about a Portuguese powerhouse. 2-time UEFA Champions League winners. They have history, pedigree, experience on the biggest stages in Europe.
So for Miami, this wasn't just a tough game. It was like a benchmark test against European royalty almost.
Exactly. A massive challenge. Could they measure up against a club with that kind of history and quality? That was the big question.
Okay, so stage set, stakes incredibly high. How did it actually unfold on the pitch? You said it was a tale of two halves?
Definitely. Very distinct halves. The first half, Porto were largely in control, maybe should have put the game away. And there was that big controversy too.
Let's start with the setups. How did the teams line up initially?
Okay, so Inter Miami, under Javier Mascherano, went with their usual 4-4-2. He had Ustari in goal. The back four was Weigandt, Ian Frey, Falcon, and Noah Allen.
Right.
Midfield had Kramashi, the ever-present Busquets, Allende, and Telasco Segovia. And then up top, the big names, Messi and Luis Suarez. The plan seemed to be, get on the front foot, try and attack.
Makes sense with those forwards. And Porto, what was their approach?
Porto came out in their typical 3-4-3 formation. It's a system they know well. Very disciplined defensively, usually quite compact, and they love to press high up the pitch.
Trying to suffocate the opposition early. Force mistakes.
Exactly. Put pressure on the ball, especially trying to stop Miami building from the back. And you'd expect, keep a very close eye on Messi. limit his space.
And did that Porto approach work early on?
It did, in terms of getting the lead, but yeah, not without that controversy we mentioned. It happened really early, just the 8th minute. Porto striker Samuel Aghehowa scored from a penalty.
A penalty in the 8th minute. How did that come about?
It was messy. Miami's defender, Noah Allen, was judged to have fouled João Mario inside the box.
Yep.
But the referee, Christian Garay, he initially waved play on, didn't see a foul.
But then VAR got involved.
You guessed it. VAR intervened, reviewed it, and eventually the penalty was given. Now, a lot of reports afterwards called it a soft penalty.
Soft penalties always cause drama.
Always. And the Miami bench was furious. Apparently, they were arguing the ball might have even gone out of play just before the foul. So yeah, layers of contention there.
But the penalty stood.
It stood. Aghehowa stepped up, very composed, and put it away. Ustari, the Miami keeper, actually guessed the right way, went to his left.
Oh, close then.
Close-ish, but the shot just had too much pace. Well-struck penalty. Nothing Ustari could really do. So 1-0 Porto, early doors, and a bit of a sour taste already.
Right. So Porto are ahead, controversially maybe, but ahead. Did Miami just fold after that early setback?
Not at all, actually. They responded pretty well and created some really good chances themselves in that first half. Moments that honestly could have completely changed the game if they'd taken them.
Like what? Give us the key moments.
Well, around the 19th minute, classic Messi. He played this brilliant through ball, split the Porto defense, and Suarez was in, one-on-one with the keeper, Claudio Ramos.
The chance you want Suarez to have.
Absolutely. But Ramos, the Porto keeper, he came out quickly, made himself big, and pulled off a really crucial save, denied Suarez. Big moment.
Okay, one big chance missed. Any others?
Yeah, later on, about 35 minutes in, Benjamin Kramashi got a side of goal, hit a decent shot. But again, Ramos was there, well-positioned, made the save. So Miami were definitely asking questions, creating openings, just couldn't find the finish.
In Porto, were they happy just sitting on that 1-0 lead?
No, they kept pushing too. They definitely wanted that second goal to get some breathing room. They had some scary moments for the Miami defense.
Oh, yeah?
Around the 39th minute, Rodrigo Mora got a shot off from close range. Looked like a certain goal. But Maximiliano Falcon, the Miami defender, somehow got back and made an incredible block. Cleared it right off the goal line.
Wow, a goal line clearance.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Absolutely massive. Kept Miami just one goal down. And then, not long after, Alan Varela hit this powerful shot from distance. It smacked off the post.
Agonizing.
And then, incredibly, it rebounded off Ustari's back and almost trickled into the net for an own goal. So close. Miami definitely rode their luck a bit in those moments.
So halftime arrives. Porto 1, Miami 0. What did the stats look like? Did they tell the story?
They painted a really interesting picture. Possession was almost even, maybe slightly Porto, like 51-49.
Yeah.
But the shots, that was stark. Porto had 15 shots in that first half.
15? Wow. Compared to Miami.
Miami only had 6, so Porto were creating way more opportunities.
Yeah.
But, and this is the crucial bit, out of those 15 shots, only 3 were actually on target.
Only 3 on target from 15 shots.
Exactly. And their only goal came from that penalty. So despite looking dominant in terms of chances, they were really inefficient in front of goal from open play.
That inefficiency, that really left the door ajar for Miami, didn't it?
Completely. They had the chances to maybe put the game to bed, but they didn't take them. And that failure to capitalize, well, it set the stage for a pretty dramatic turnaround after the break.
And what a turnaround it was. You said Miami came out like a different team.
Oh, absolutely transformed.
Yeah.
Right from the whistle for the second half, you could just see it. The tempo was higher. They were way more proactive, pressing Porto, attacking with real intent.
What do you put that down to? The halftime team talk, tactical tweaks?
Probably a bit of both. Mascherano must have said something, reminded them of the plan, maybe emphasized having courage, playing without fear, trusting themselves. Perhaps some tactical adjustments too, maybe pushing the midfielders higher or changing the pressing triggers. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked energized, focused, totally up for it.
And it didn't take long for that new approach to pay off, did it? The equalizer came really quickly.
Almost instantly. Just 2 minutes into the second half, 47th minute. A great team move. Marcelo Weigandt, the right back, got forward and delivered this really precise cross from the right wing.
Good contribution from the defender.
Yeah, excellent overlap and delivery. And it found Telasco Segovia, the young midfielder. He met it perfectly and hit this powerful right-footed shot. Bang! Back of the net, 1-1.
Segovia, what a moment for him. That must have just electrified the Miami players and fans.
Absolutely. You could feel the momentum shift right there. The belief surged back. And it set the stage perfectly for, well, for the main event.
The inevitable Messi moment.
You know it. Just 7 minutes after the equalizer, 54th minute, it was pure Messi. He picked up the ball, started dribbling towards the center, drawing defenders like moths to a flame, you know?
Classic Messi gravity.
Exactly. And then, inevitably, he gets fouled. Zé Pedro, the Porto defender, brought him down just outside the penalty area, prime free kick territory.
The danger zone, you just know what he's capable of from there. What was the atmosphere like then? The sources mentioned the chants.
Yeah, apparently the stadium just erupted. Messi, Messi, Messi. Thousands of fans, mostly in pink jerseys by this point, just roaring his name. You could feel the anticipation, everyone holding their breath, expecting something special.
And did he deliver?
Oh, did he ever. It was vintage Messi.
Yeah.
Left foot, curled it beautifully, up and over the wall, perfect arc, right into the top corner. Goalkeeper Claudio Ramos didn't even move.
Just watched it go in.
Completely rooted to the spot, like everyone else, really.
Yeah.
Just a spectator to a moment of absolute genius. Unstoppable. World class doesn't even do it justice sometimes.
Incredible. And that goal wasn't just the winner. It had other layers of significance too, right? Milestones.
Loads. Okay, so career-wise, that was his 68th goal directly from a free kick.
Yeah.
Just absurd consistency.
68. Unbelievable.
For Inter Miami, it was his 50th goal for the club in all competitions, reaching a half-century already. And in the Club World Cup itself, that was his 6th goal, putting him just one behind Cristiano Ronaldo's all-time record in the competition.
Wow. So history on multiple fronts with that one kick.
Pretty much. Won the game, hit milestones, edged closer to a record. Just another day at the office for him, apparently.
So 2-1 Miami with about 35 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Did they see it out comfortably or was it nervy?
Definitely nervy. Not comfortable at all. Porto threw absolutely everything at them trying to find an equalizer. The referee added on 7 minutes of stoppage time, too, which felt like an eternity for Miami fans, I bet.
7 minutes? That's a long time to hang on.
It is, and Porto pushed hard. Lots of crosses, lots of pressure. But Miami's defense, marshaled by the likes of Falcon and Busquets dropping back, they really dug in. Showed incredible resilience, blocking shots, making clearances, fighting for every ball. They defended collectively with real determination.
They bent but didn't break, basically.
That's exactly it. Held firm under intense pressure to secure a truly massive, historic win.
And you mentioned the fans earlier, that 12th man effect. Even though it was Atlanta, it sounded like a home game for Miami.
It really did seem that way. Reports mention nearly 32,000 fans, a sea of pink, especially by the end. That kind of passionate support, those Messi chants. It creates an atmosphere.
Psychologically huge, sure.
Absolutely. It puts pressure on the opposition, makes them feel like they're truly in enemy territory, even on neutral ground, and it visibly lifts the home team, gives them that extra bit of energy, that extra belief, especially when defending a lead like Miami were. Porto must have felt like the whole world was against them in those final minutes.
It's a factor you can't really measure, but you know it matters.
Definitely. That passionate crowd played its part in fueling the comeback and seeing out the win.
Okay, let's shift focus slightly and dive deeper into the tactics and the individual performances, because you mentioned Miami's efficiency versus Porto's volume. That seems key.
Hugely key. It's maybe the biggest tactical takeaway. Look at the numbers again. Miami had less possession, 49%, fewer shots overall, only 6 compared to Porto's 15. But they put 5 of their 6 shots on target.
5 out of 6 on target. That's incredibly clinical.
Ridiculously clinical. They made their chances count. Porto, on the other hand, 15 shots, but only 3 on target. It's like Miami brought a sniper rifle and Porto brought a shotgun. Miami were just ruthless when they got a sight of goal. That efficiency was the difference maker, tactically speaking.
And defensively, especially in the second half, Miami stepped up.
Massively. The stats back that up, too. Inter Miami won way more tackles, 20, compared to Porto's 7. More interceptions, 15-7. More clearances, 11-8.
Those are big differences.
Huge. It shows a real collective defensive effort, winning the ball back, stopping attacks before they got dangerous. And remember Falcon's goal line clearance in the first half. That kind of commitment was there throughout, but especially after they took the lead.
Yeah.
They were disciplined, organized, and fought hard defensively.
So Porto, loads of the ball, lots of attacking moves, but it just didn't translate. What exactly went wrong for them, tactically?
Well, they generated offense, no doubt. 11 key passes, 9 successful dribbles, that 51% possession. But it was all ineffective in the final third. Their high press didn't lead to clear-cut chances from open play. They got bogged down trying to break down Miami's defense, especially in the second half. And as we said, when they did get shots off, They weren't accurate, just couldn't convert pressure into goals apart from the penalty.
Yeah.
That was their fatal flaw in this match.
Right. Let's zoom in on the key players now. Beyond the obvious man of the match.
It'd have to be Messi, doesn't it? Even setting aside the winner.
Absolutely. The free kick was sublime, the 50th goal milestone, closing in on the CWC record. But it's more than just the stats with him, isn't it? Even at 37.
It really is. It's the leadership, the resilience, the way he just dictates the rhythm of the game. That 87% pass completion rate shows his quality on the ball, always finding the right pass, keeping things moving, and his work rate, even when tired.
Mascherano mentioned that, didn't he? Said he gives everything.
Yeah, his former teammate praising him as the greatest of all time and highlighting how Messi's commitment, even when fatigued, just inspires everyone else. It creates this belief, this feeling that with him on the pitch, they can beat anyone. That psychological impact is immense.
Beyond Messi, who else really shone? Let's talk about the other goal scorer, Segovia.
Telasco Segovia, yeah. Huge moment for the young midfielder. That equalizer was so important, not just for the score, but for the momentum shift. Calm finish, powerful shot. And his overall performance was rated very highly. Who scored gave him a 7.5, second only to Messi on the team. That tells you how influential he was.
And for Porto, Aghehowa got their goal.
Yeah, Samuel Aghehowa took his penalty really well under pressure. You have to give him credit for that composure. And he's been scoring goals for fun this season, so he's clearly a dangerous player.
What about the keepers? Ramos for Porto made some big saves early on.
He did. Kept them in it in the first half, definitely. Denied Suarez, saved from Kramashi, made another late stop too. He couldn't do anything about the Messi free kick, but you can't really blame him for that. It was just unstoppable.
And Ustari from Miami.
Ustari couldn't save the penalty, guessed right, but couldn't reach it. But he made a crucial save from open play later on, and importantly, he was decisive and alert when that shot came back off the post and hit him. Didn't panic, kept his composure. Solid enough performance overall.
Okay, but it takes a team. Who are the unsung heroes, the supporting cast that made this win possible for Miami?
Definitely need to mention Sergio Busquets. He just quietly runs the midfield, doesn't he? Controls the tempo, keeps possession ticking over with that high pass accuracy. He got a 7.2 rating, which reflects his importance. The glue in midfield.
The metronome.
Exactly. Then there's Marcelo Weigandt at right back. That assist for the equalizer was fantastic, showed great attacking intent. And Maximiliano Falcon, in defense, that goal line clearance was arguably as important as a goal. Huge defensive contribution.
And Suarez, even though he missed that big chance.
Yeah, Suarez still played his part. He's always a threat, always occupies defenders, makes intelligent runs that create space for Messi and others. He's still got a 7.3 rating, which shows he contributed significantly even without scoring. His presence alone causes problems.
Right, let's touch on the substitutions. Did they play a big role in how the game finished? Miami seemed quite strategic with theirs.
They did. Mascherano used his bench well. Avilés came on for Frey around the 63rd minute to add defensive solidity. Then Redondo replaced the goal scorer Segovia maybe 10 minutes later, fresh legs in midfield. And bringing on Alba and Pico with about 10 minutes left added that crucial experience and control to see the game out. Smart changes to manage the lead and maintain energy.
And Porto, they made a lot of changes, including that quadruple sub. Did it work for them?
Not really, no. That quadruple change around the hour mark, bringing on Fernandez, Borges, Vega, Eustachio, it felt a bit desperate, like throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks after going behind so quickly. They made more subs later, too, but none of them really changed the game's trajectory. Miami stayed organized defensively, and Porto just couldn't find a way through, despite the fresh personnel. Their changes didn't provide the spark they needed.
So the subs highlighted Miami's control in that phase, almost.
Yeah, Miami subs helped them manage the game, while Porto subs didn't disrupt Miami's control.
Okay, let's pull back again and talk about the sheer historical weight of this result. It feels massive, especially for CONCACAF soccer.
It is absolutely massive. This is the big one. Inter Miami are the first ever CONCACAF team to beat a UEFA team in an official competition match.
First ever? Wow.
First ever. That's not just a stat, that's a landmark moment. It shatters a long-standing barrier and sends a huge message about the growing strength of soccer in North America. It could genuinely shift perceptions globally.
And for MLS specifically, this must be a huge boost for the league's reputation.
Immense. A monumental win for MLS. It proves that MLS teams, especially those investing in top-level talent like Miami have, can genuinely go toe-to-toe with and beat Europe's elite. It validates the league's growth and ambition.
Could it attract more big names, more attention?
You'd think so. Success like this makes the league more attractive to star players globally. It draws more eyes, more fans, more investment, and it probably encourages other MLS clubs too. Shows them what's possible on the world stage if they invest smartly.
So potentially reshaping the Club World Cup itself, making it less predictable?
Exactly. This kind of result is exactly what FIFA would want for their expanded tournament. It forces the traditional European powerhouses to take every opponent seriously. It hints at a future where the Club World Cup is genuinely competitive, unpredictable, and truly global, not just a coronation for the Champions League winner.
Let's hear from the coaches again. Mascherano sounded incredibly proud.
He did, called it a historic day, praised his team's courage. But I loved his quote about hierarchies in soccer, saying, yes, we faced a top team, but if we have a plan, if we support each other, if we are united, and most importantly, if we dare to play, we can compete. That perfectly sums up their second half performance, doesn't it? Daring to play, unity, having a plan is a powerful message.
And the Porto coach, Anselmi, his comment on Messi was short but revealing.
Yeah, basically threw his hands up. What more can I say about Messi? I won't say anything new. You all know what he can do. It's just this universal acknowledgement, even from the losing coach, that sometimes Messi is just unstoppable. No tactic can fully account for that kind of individual genius. It's almost a resigned shrug, admitting defeat to brilliance.
So looking forward in the tournament, where does this leave Inter Miami in Group A?
In a very strong position. They're now on 4 points, tied at the top with Palmeiras. And crucially, they just need a draw in their final group game against Palmeiras to guarantee qualification for the knockout stages.
Destiny in their own hands then.
Completely. A draw sees them through. That match is on June 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Big one.
And Porto. What's their situation now?
Looking grim for them. Still stuck on 1 point. They absolutely have to beat Al Ahly in their final game. And even then, they'd need other results to go their way. It's a very tough path, almost impossible now. This loss was likely fatal to their hopes.
Outside the Club World Cup, how does this fit into Miami's overall season? They're doing okay in MLS, right?
Yeah, steady, mid-table in the East, 6th place, currently 9th overall. They also made the semis of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, so they're competing on multiple fronts. This CWC win really validates that big investment in Messi, Suarez, Busquets, proves they can deliver on the biggest stages and lifts the whole club's trajectory.
And defensively, you mentioned improvement. That was a weakness before.
It was, yeah. They'd conceded in 10 straight MLS games before this tournament. So to limit a potent Porto attack to just a penalty goal, that shows real progress defensively. Better organization, more resilience. That's key if they want to win trophies.
But squad management is always a factor, especially with those older stars. Contracts coming up, balancing youth.
Always a balancing act. Messi's deal is up after this 2025 season. Suarez and Alba's contracts need looking at too. They're all in their mid to late 30s now. But their impact is undeniable, on and off the pitch. So Miami has to figure out how to keep that core strength while also bringing through younger players for the future. It's a challenge, but a good one to have, maybe.
And they have the financial clout to keep attracting players.
Oh, yeah. They're the highest paying team in MLS by a distance. Average salary over $1 million, total payroll over $40 million. Messi himself on $12 million a year. They can afford to bring in quality reinforcements when needed. Money talks in modern soccer.
So the ambitions remain high across the board. CWC, MLS, Leagues Cup.
Absolutely. They'll want to go as deep as possible in the Club World Cup now, push for a high seed and a deep run in the MLS Cup playoffs, and defend their Leagues Cup title. They're aiming for silverware, plural.
And there's that backdrop of the new stadium coming soon, too.
Yeah, adding to the excitement. This 2025 season is their last at the current Chase Stadium. They move into the new Miami Freedom Park in 2026. So a historic win like this in their final season at the old ground, it just builds incredible buzz and momentum heading toward that new era in the new stadium. Great timing.
What a journey this deep dive has been. Some really clear takeaways, those aha moments. Miami's incredible efficiency stands out.
Totally. Making those chances count. Clinical.
And then just the sheer impact of individual brilliance, especially Messi, defying age, defying logic sometimes.
Undeniable. Game-changing magic.
And maybe the biggest takeaway, seeing those established lines of global club soccer maybe starting to blur right before our eyes.
Exactly. A potential shift in the power dynamic. It leads to that final thought, doesn't it?
It really does. This Inter-Miami victory, it felt like more than just a result. It felt like a statement. So as we see these lines blurring with new forces rising fueled by investment and star power, what does it really tell us about where soccer is heading?
Is this the start of a truly level playing field globally? where any well-run, ambitious club can challenge the old guard. A genuinely unpredictable landscape.
Or is this particular result maybe more about the unique, enduring magic of one specific legend? Is it Messi making the impossible possible again, an outlier event rather than the start of a whole new trend?
It's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess only time and more tournaments like this Expanded Club World Cup will tell us the answer. It's going to be fascinating to watch unfold.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope you feel comprehensively informed now, ready to watch the rest of this tournament and the future of club soccer with maybe a slightly different perspective.
You hope you enjoyed the dive.
Until next time, keep digging deeper.